Hello everybody, welcome back to Red Tool House. Today we're going to play a game called Beat the Rain. So if you look at the radar, here's a snapshot of the radar right now. And that's what's coming toward us. If I estimate, I'm no weatherman, but I think I got a couple hours there. So we're going to try to get a gate set. We got to set a post, build a little gate, a little homemade gate between the two paddocks that the farrowing barn split. So I want to be able to have a gate where I can rotate those pigs easily, because we actually want to swap them. I want the sows and the boar on one side, and I want the 8 that are going to processing here soon on the other side. So let's go check it out. I'll show you what we've got to do. All right, so we're up here at the farrowing barn. This is where all the magic happens. This is where baby piglets are made and baby piglets are born. And since I fired up the side-by-side, everybody thinks it's early dinner time, but it's not even close. So here's what we've got. Those of you watching the channel, we built this. Easy. We built this structure with 2 different corrals in it that we can cordon off our sows so they can farrow easily and separately. And we've also been using it for an opportunity to split the pasture. We've got this large woodlot pasture over here that our 8 feeders are in, our growers that are about ready to go. And then on this side, this is where the sows and the boar are hanging out. So they get to split via this temporary panel that I've put in place, and you can see the electric fence goes right down toward the workshop. So what we're going to do is put something more permanent in. I'm going to set a post, a large phone pole post right here, so I can have a swinging gate that will allow me to open up the gate, swing 180 degrees this way, open up the gate, and move people over, pigs over, back and forth. So the plan will be, when it's time to move, we're going to get all the boars, or get the sows and the boar in there, close the door so they're hanging out in the corral, open this gate, let the piglets over so they can come over here and hang out. And the reason why I want them over here is that is how I get them down into the barn. Where am I? Where's the barn? Down into the barn for our load chute when it's time to load here in a couple weeks. And then, of course, I can just open up the farrowing gate, the farrowing barn, and let the sows over into the other pasture. So pasture A, pasture B type of thing here. So first, just going to get some measurements. You debate back and forth on whether making that gate smaller so it can easily be managed, maybe just 3 feet wide, versus something that's wide enough that I can drive the side-by-side of the tractor through. There really isn't much over here. It's just this little spot and then over the hill. But like if I was going to get the tire feeder, then I'd have to drag it over here versus backing the side-by-side right up. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll get some measurements and see how it works out. So this panel right here is 10 feet long, and that's longer than I want it to be. I think what we're going to do is make a 6-foot panel and turn that into a gate. So I measured from the center of this, farrowing barn, this post here, straight out about 6 feet. That gives me plenty of room to squeeze the side-by-side through if I need to, and I think I can even get the tractor bucket in there. So that will give me the opportunity to pull the tractor bucket in, toss stuff in, scoop out whatever I need to landscape this. We got to do some erosion control here this spring once we get everybody out of here. So that'll allow me to do some tractor work without having to tear stuff up. So let's go get our phone pole and get the tractor set up with the auger on the back. So up here at our, what I call my construction pile, construction supply pile, got some cinder blocks, some foam poles that a buddy of mine gave me years ago, got some steel, got some old tin, got some brick, so things that I'd rather not have laying around the barn because I got enough laying around the barn. So I'll bring it up here. This is further back, the boar pastures over here on this hillside. Anyway, so foam poles. A buddy of mine gave these to me years and years ago, and that's the beauty of foam poles. Obviously they have a lot of funky stuff in them, but they last forever. So I've got this short one here. I think he may be long enough. Yep. So he's 6.5 feet. So it means I don't have to cut any more down. We'll grab him with the tractor. First put the auger on, then grab the tractor, bring it up here and put it in the bucket, and we'll get to drilling a hole. All right, so I got that pole set, got it set plumb. You can see how much the hillside drops because that is plumb and nothing else is. So double check our measurements and let's start putting the gate together. All right, so the plan is to use this poplar that I've had milled up for a while. In fact, this is poplar I milled up when I built the panels before we even farrowed, I think, yeah. So that's, or maybe before we weaned. So that's easily been 6 months ago. Stuff's pretty dry and it's the dimensions I need to match my other panels. And instead of 6 feet, we're going to go with 7 feet because looking at the side by side, the width, if I put mirrors on it, all these things, trying to think ahead, trying to plan to make sure I've got all that in place. So we're going to go with 7 feet. And the fact I forgot to take the tape measure up when I had the auger, so I was just eyeballing it. So that's why we're going 7 feet instead of 6 feet. It's what we call design build, or build, design, adapt, and build. Let's get cutting. All right, so there we go. There's a 7x4 gate. Got the V in it to obviously reinforce it. I got my V backwards, I realize. I normally do them that way. But what are you going to do? As I say here at Red Tool House Construction, we ain't building a clock, are we? One of these days I need to build a clock. So got this ready. This sucker's still about 700 pounds. Yeah, I moved it around, but still 700 pounds. About 100 pounds. Wasn't expecting to be that heavy. Still a little bit of water in that wood, but obviously it'll be formidable for the pigs. I realized I don't have my hook and eye gate pins that I want to use. So here's the dilemma. Do I run out to the box store and get said hook pins, hinge pins, and then possibly come back in the rain, or do I move on to something else, keep the rain from coming? I think I've got a plan B. We're going to see if we can recruit a teenager or two to make that run for me. I need to go up and check the weather radar and see what, weather radar. It's like hot water tank. I'll go check the enemy aircraft radar and see what it looks like so we can differentiate and see how close we are to getting wet. All right, so I came up to the house to check out the radar, and you can see it's hardly even moving east. I think we've got all the time in the world. We got time to burn. But I'm still gonna recruit one of the teenagers to run out and go. I had to dangle a Chick-fil-A milkshake for him that he can go out and grab one of those. So he's gonna do a run for me here shortly as after he finishes some college essays. And many of you guys have asked where Kelly's been. She hadn't been on videos in a while. There she goes now. Hey Kelly, wave so we can see proof of life. Did you wave?
What?
I said wave for proof of life so people know you're alive. She's diligently working in the garden. Well, so since Liam's going to run out to the store for me, that allows me to take care of one important task that I need to get done. All right, so the good news is the boys made it back with the pins that I needed. So we're ready to hang the gate. Bad news is it's raining. So we will table this project and await the end of the rain, maybe a day or two. All right, so fast forward a couple days. You know, my nap had absolutely nothing to do with a lack of productivity around here. But fast forward a couple days, I've got my gate hardware here, got our gate finished. Been sitting against the sawhorses for several days now. I'm gonna load it up, take it up, got some tools, and let's see if we can get it hung. All right, so I got our pin set on our post, and I've got the loop or the eyes on the fence, the actual gate portion. Now becomes the real trick to see if I can even pick this turkey up. This gate a little bit heavy. Now normally I would take this, if I was using a regular livestock fence or gate, I would take one of these hooks and turn them down, usually the top one, and turn them down so the pig can't lift it up. But this type of gate attachment doesn't have any type of sliding collar or sleeve that I can use to adjust. So if you did that, you'd obviously be fouled. You wouldn't be able to put it together. So we're going to set it on there, and hopefully knowing that the weight of the gate will maybe keep the pigs from lifting it. We'll see. We may regret that. Wow, here's a recommendation. Don't do that by yourself when your gate weighs 100 pounds and you have to pick it up on the middle or the back and you can't see the eyelets. That's where a call for help would have been logical, but nobody's ever accused me of being illogical most of the time. Anyway, got it hung. Now this telephone pole that we set, we went down the depth of our auger bit, and it's obviously still going to have some slop with that gate weighing as much as it does. So fortunately, it's one of those deals where I can just park the gate closed, lift it up when I need it, and not that big a deal. Or I can come back here to the top of the post and at an angle, put an angle brace in and maybe hit high up here on the fairing bar. So just a long board to keep it from falling in that way. Give it some stability there. So we may do that. Not that big a deal right now. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is take down our electric wire. Those of you who watched the channel for a while, when I put this in, I purposely talked about leaving a long pigtail here, pardon the pun, so I can attach it to the gate when it was time to build it. So we're just going to move our insulator over, attach it to the back of the telephone pole, and we'll take this T-post out and remove this gate, this temporary panel, and we should be cooking with gas. All right, so I got it dug out enough that the gate will swing this way and that way, and pigs are helping me excavate my new dirt there. Went ahead and moved the tire trough over here with the sows, because that's where I'm going to move the piglets, the ones that are ready to, the growers, the ones that are ready to go. So we're going to get the plan is to get the sows in here in the farrowing barn, lure them in with feed, close the door, move all the little guys over, and see what we can do. Come on, big, big, big. Yeah, big, big, big. Go, girl. Get in there. There you go. This is how we do it. Whee! Holy pig face, Batman, that actually worked. The one thing, I've got just these cheap gate chains that come with the pipe gates, and I trust those about as much as I trust gas station sushi. So I'm going to have to replace that and come up with a better chain. I don't want to do a pin mechanism because I, again, want to be able to swing both sides. There's the hinge elements I could do. There's several things we could do, but we'll start with a heavier chain first and foremost. So I'll have to get one of those next time I'm out. Of course, the first thing they had to do was go check out the wallow in the boat meadow, so that's where they were. So I'm going to come back and check on them tonight after dark to make sure they've settled in. And since it'll be dark, I'll be using my new Olight Baton 3 with remote charger. So as usual, Olight is launching a new product. When they do, they offer a pretty good sell associated with that. I want to show this Baton 3 because this is pretty cool. The Baton 3, the Baton flashlight style has been around for a while. It's a really good EDC, super bright, super compact, you burn your eyeballs out type of thing. But they've got this limited edition orange, but what's really cool, they've added this new charging station, this wireless charger. It's kind of like earbuds type thing. So all you do is just drop your flashlight down in there and whammo, it's charging. They claim it'll charge 3.7 times your flashlight. So when you need that 0.7th charge, you got it. But it's really cool. They've got some good bundles going on associated with it. So this is kind of cool. I like this idea of keeping it in the truck and using the flashlight on a regular basis, and then once it goes dead, knowing that I can toss it back into this, or obviously at camp, all kinds of different things there. So I really like this idea. Pretty cool. You can just tell by the size of my hand, it's not huge. The whole thing could fit in your pocket. So I'm going to put some details below in the video description. Check it out. The sale is going on right now as you're seeing this video. So be sure not to miss it. All right, take care, everybody. Look at that mongo.